Well, what a week we've had in the markets. You can see here Yahoo Finance homepage just blood red, filled with the latest news. Trump tariff sparked worst weekly meltdown since 2020. If you thought yesterday was bad, today the Dow fell over 2,000 points, around 2,200, while the Nasdaq entered into a bear market after a historic two-day rout. We saw the S&P fall about 5% yesterday, Thursday, April 3rd. Today, thought it may have some relief, however, quite the opposite, with the S&P down to $5,074, down 6% on the day. We saw the Dow, like I said, shed around 2,200 points, down 5.5%. NASDAQ down 5.82%, closing at $15,588. Nothing was really spared here. Russell 2000 down 4.37%, crude oil down around 7%, and even gold, the darling of flight to safety, down 2%, still near all-time highs at around $3,056. So dig into this first article. Trump tariffs spark worst weekly meltdown since 2020. Let's take a look. US stocks cratered on Friday, with the Dow plunging more than 2,200 points after China stoked trade war fears, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell warned of higher inflation and slower growth stemming from tariffs. He initially said this would be transitory. I think he's pulled back on that speech a little bit. Last time the Fed said that inflation was transitory, we all know how that worked out. The Dow pulled back 5.5%, entering correction territory. S&P sinking 6% today, as a broad-based benchmark capped its worst week since 2020. And if you remember March 2020, I think March, April, May, June, it was pretty terrible. Tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite is in bear market territory, down 5.8%. Major averages at Thursday's $2.5 trillion wipeout. So China will impose additional tariffs of 34% on U.S. products. So we are now seeing the aftermath of Liberation Day and everything that's coming with it. China wasted no time slapping back some tariffs. You could see the U.S. market, the S&P 500 here on FinViz, in complete shambles. Big names down, Apple down 7% on top of yesterday's losses. Same with Nvidia, 7%. Tesla over 10% down. Berkshire B down 7%. Visa down almost 8%. Same with MasterCard. All big names here completely collapsing. Markets are uncertain of what's going to happen next. What we're afraid of is these tariffs being part of a bigger trade war. Seems that's happening. Like I said, who knows what the United States will do as a response to these 34% tariffs coming from China. We do see, however, Bitcoin miraculously maintaining above 83, almost $84,000, gaining a bit today, actually. And if we take a look at the past 5 days, seeing a pretty solid, support here around 82, 83. We did go all the way up to around 88 around Liberation Day announcement, as we saw stocks rally as well, of course, only to tank. Though it's very interesting to see Bitcoin almost diverge from greater markets, even gold, oil, everything else down sizably. When we see the S&P tank, 2-3%, we often see Bitcoin follow, but we are seeing a bit of a divergence here. So maybe people just want to be away from tariffs. It seems that Bitcoin is resistant, at least for now, although we will see what happens. Taking another look back at Yahoo Finance. Like I said here, this article, Powell, inflation from Trump's tariffs could be more persistent. He was saying this was transitory before, although he's probably backing on that at this point. See here, appeared to back away from a base case view that inflation from President Trump's new tariffs will be transitory, saying it's also possible that the effects could be more persistent as the economy digests significantly larger than expected trade duties. Trump at the same time turned up pressure on Powell, calling him to lower rates. A lot of people think this is a 4D chess move by Trump to crash the markets deliberately in order to refinance $9 trillion of US debt due in the first 6 months of this year. And with it already being April, there's not much time to spare. And it seems Trump posted on social media adding, cut interest rates, Jerome, and stop playing politics. There's a lot going on right now. and markets are extremely uncertain, as you can see here. Are you tired of winning yet? We'll see how this plays out. If you guys like the content, please consider leaving a like, subscribing for the latest updates, and I will speak with you soon.